More and more I am realizing or acknowledging or coming from a place of photography being a meditation more than anything else. Meditation, of course, being really just a return to the natural state is the best way I've heard it described. So not wanting to reach any big state of whatever, but really that, like, before we kind of build on all of this that is the ego, before we take on all of these characteristics that make up the ego, we are already perfect. And so meditation is really just an undoing and slowing down of all of the buildup. And so for photography, rather than going to chase something, such as the sunset, and then realizing that the location is not a sunset location, that you're in a little valley, it helps to undo the whole me needing to go take a picture and go capture this moment or catch this thing, and to undo all of that and just to see what is present here. And so I have pretty consistent light for the subject. Yeah, so we'll play. We'll see what it wants to become. Here's what we'll be catching. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a spring. Can't draw water from it anymore, but I think at one point you probably could have. I don't hear any running water. It's chillier than I thought it was going to be. So I don't know how long this shoot's going to really be. See, we got the wide angle out, I think. That's something. I got some clouds, so I'm going to move us diagonal. It'll be a little edgier. Maybe let's just do a quick one here just to say that we did. Okay. One thing y'all can help me with is making sure that I don't do inauthentic, stupid stuff to try and get clicks. I'm wanting it to be real. It's fucking wet over here, mushy. That sucks. You know, I don't think I'm loving this right now. Not loving it. Not McDonald's. Yeah, I really might scrap this for another day. It's a cool structure. Yeah, so cool structure. But yeah, if I shoot this way, I got houses and horses, houses, and then same that way, the house and the barns. So sunrise. So yeah, I guess the sun's over there somewhere. So I either want the morning light with the sun on it, so I'm standing in front of the sun to my back, or a little bit earlier. And then it's all wet over there. I guess it's just the runoff. Sorry, it's all wet there, like runoff into the wellspring, I suppose. Drone footage. Yeah, too hasty. Too cold, too hasty, wet feet. Meditation, right? So slow down. But I'll be back. I think it's an interesting little spot there. At least to practice with shadow and light and probably black and white, I imagine, and then also play with the texture. So that's that. I guess I'm driving home. Would love something super profound and epic to talk to you about. I got nothing. So photography is like a meditation, and I just had a a non-photo shoot. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything at all. Let's see. I want to chain this. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Any history about this place? 1838 structure, health resort. Yeah, abandoned health resort. It was a college, Baptist cemetery before this, not cemetery, a Baptist seminary before the Civil War. All right, load up the car. Don't freeze my little fingers. I'm getting cocky. Started getting used to. I want that on. Started getting used to sub-zero temperatures out, and then having it be above freezing. I think, oh, I just need a sweatshirt, like I'm back in California, but no, sir. Oh, no, sir. Okay. Now what? I also don't think it's the most interesting to be sitting in the car with me all the time. But decent location. I'll come back when its lighting is better, not as cold, to not have an expectation of the outcome. So there's nothing out there to go catch. There's no, because, you know, that never feels good. Even if it with the perfect conditions to photograph. That's just bleh. I guess it could be considered a disappointment to go out to photograph and not take a single pic. Well, I took that one picture, the non-intentional photo, really. Well, I guess I am disappointed. Like, I know it doesn't ultimately matter. I don't really believe that, like, oh my God, I missed this beautiful opportunity. Because this is it. It's an opportunity to just be in this less than awesome moment. So, and I know that there's no lack of opportunities to take photos. But yeah, it's okay. It still kind of sucks. Would like to be, I guess, more enlightened than I am. Because I'm having to remind myself what I know, not just simply refresh, like I was talking about before. So, what do you do? Like, there's nothing really to do. So kind of from the perspective of the spiritual teachings I've learned, it's that to engage with this disappointment or this moment is really coming from that there's disappointment. And so the kind of way out is really to not participate in it at all. And so one of the teachings is to admit defeat. And so that would mean in this case, like, any sort of doubt thoughts that would come up oh, you didn't plan a photography shoot, you're not a professional photographer, oh, you're never gonna make it, oh, you wasted this day, oh, that's like the kind of spiral of thoughts that could come up by admitting defeat to them means to just let them win. Like, okay, fine, yeah, I'm not a real photographer. Okay, fine, I wasted this day completely. Okay, fine, like, yeah, I'm a total loser or whatever. To not cycle into it like, oh man, oh man. So not to buy into it, but also not to reject it. Just to admit defeat. And admitting defeat to it is to not engage with it at all. So it's sort of like going to a carnival or something, and there's this game, and you pay $5 to like throw the ball to make, I don't know, to make it through the ring, and so the limiting beliefs are like that carnival game that is rigged. And so rather than just getting all bent and just like spending all of my money to try and beat this thing that can't be beaten, you just admit defeat to it and walk away. In the same way with the limiting beliefs, you just, fine, yep, I suck at this game with all these beliefs, and from the perspective of all of this, and given this evidence that supports it, yep, I lost, totally whatever. And then to move on. And from there, the kind of grip of the limiting beliefs or the doubt or the suck fest just kind of dissipate away, and from there you can focus on the next segment or on something new. And so being the spiritual seeker, or to be a student of spiritual teachings, or to want to be an up-leveled version of yourself, doesn't mean to be acing it all the time, I don't think. Or here's an example, here's not acing it. But to see if you can reduce down the gap between the actual admitting defeat and the buying into it all. So yeah, so the enlightened being would have totally just loved everything about this moment, because it's just an expression of God. It's life happening, and life is already happening perfectly. So that would be the enlightened perspective. It's just moment by moment, it's just already infinite perfection. A relative way to access that would be just seeing the full beauty of life and of being alive in this moment, and everything, that just such appreciation and gratitude for being alive in this moment. To have a car that could take me to a place that's already there to photograph, that I have a camera to photograph. So all of this appreciation stuff. Okay, cool. And then the super ego way would be to be all bent and out of shape and upset and just like totally downward spiral into negativity. In between, and so yeah, so the spiritual seeker student, or the one wanting to up level, it's just to acknowledge when it's less than ideal, when it's not happening, and to be okay with it, and to see about reducing down the time, just reducing the gap being the time spent in suckfest mode. So just reduce down. Oh, cool, I was like less in suckfest mode this time than I was last time. Nice. Oh, I remembered this time. Oh, sweet. So hopefully that makes sense, and I'm not too much only speaking partial aspects of what I'm thinking. So we'll see. Nice. Yeah, so if taking pictures is literally a meditation, and meditation is a return to the natural state, the taking pictures doesn't really matter at all. Or the result or the achieving anything does not matter at all. All that actually matters is my state and where I am coming from. And so if a suckfest brings me to a state of recognizing and remembering more of who I truly am, to return more to that natural state, then yeah, that would be way preferred to getting the epic $1 million shot and coming from a completely messed up place about it the whole time, being all grumpy. and irritated and fighting for the image to get it. There's no need to do any of that. Because the whole reason to take pictures, for me at least, is to enjoy and to express. Just to share with others what I see as beautiful. And so if I get that feeling without even having to take a picture at all, let alone to produce, like edit it and print it and display it, I don't have to do any of that and to feel good already. Hey, that's coming out ahead.